Welcome back to another episode of Matt here. So, nobody saw this coming. No pun intended to the actor that used to play Quicksilver. We didn't see that coming. Aaron Taylor Johnson has been cast to play Craven the Hunter in another Spider-Man universe solo film. This was surprising news that came out the other day. I think it was either Wednesday or Thursday. We knew that a Craven the Hunter movie was in development. Sony announced it over a year ago, around the time that Morbius was supposed to come out. And that's still another 6 months away. And then we found out that J.C. Chandler, the director of movies like A Most Violent Year, one of my favorite movies, with Oscar Isaac and Jessica Chastain. And then last year we had the Netflix film Triple Frontier, again with Oscar Isaac and Ben Affleck was in that. Pretty good movie. So he's going to be directing this Craven the Hunter movie. Very interesting choice for a director. I bet you either when you look at A Most Violent Year, Triple Frontier, you don't think Craven the Hunter. Craven the Hunter is basically a hunter that is known for one of the most famous Spider-Man stories, Kraven's Last Hunt, where he's hired to hunt down Spider-Man. Now, I actually thought at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, with how they ended the movie, with, spoiler, Spider-Man being outed as Peter Parker in front of everyone in New York City, I literally said, okay, this is when you can bring in Craven the Hunter for somebody, whether it's J. Jonah Jameson, Norman Osborn, to hire Craven to go hunt down Spider-Man all over New York. Now, once again, we really don't know who the main villain is in Spider-Man 3, but they've already filmed the movie, so I don't think Craven the Hunter is going to show up in the film. Unless he shows up at the end of the film for a fourth Spider-Man film, that's a possibility. But they are moving forward with a solo film, just like we've already seen with 2018's Venom with Tom Hardy. And we know we're going to be getting a sequel of that in September. That comes out. Venom, the Let There Be Carnage. And of course, like I just mentioned, Morbius, starring Jared Leto, was supposed to come out last spring. But once again, just like everything else, it got delayed because of the pandemic. Then it was supposed to come out in the summer, then they delayed it again. Then it was supposed to come out like in October of this year, and then they delayed that again to now January 2022. So once again, and now, so we got Tom Hardy as Venom, Eddie Brock. We got Jared Leto as Morbius. And now we got Aaron Taylor Johnson as Craven. What do I think about this casting? You know, when I first saw Aaron Taylor Johnson in the first Kick-Ass movie, playing Kick-Ass, I thought, okay, interesting guy, tall guy, but, you know, he didn't impress me. Once again, the MVP of that movie was Chloe Grace Moretz as Hit Girl. And her father was played by Nicolas Cage, Big Daddy. So, you know, and then we saw Aaron Taylor Johnson in Godzilla, playing the son of Bryan Cranston and married to Elizabeth Olsen. Interesting. We'll get to that in a minute. So, once again, I thought in Godzilla, he was kind of boring. He He was just like, okay, this character, maybe it was more the character than the actual actor, but he didn't do anything for me in that movie. And then we saw him a year later in Avengers Age of Ultron playing Pietro Maximoff, aka Quicksilver, the twin brother of the Scarlet Witch, Wanda Maximoff, played by Elizabeth Olsen. I mean, obviously, if you've seen Age of Ultron, Pietro doesn't make it till the end. You didn't see that coming. And really, Elizabeth Olsen to me had the better role. I liked Aaron Taylor Johnson in the movie, actually. I thought he was a good Quicksilver. And also, if you look at the picture I have, he actually bulked up pretty well for that movie. I mean, funny enough, he's not there to be, muscular and buff. He's there to just, he's quick. Quicksilver. But he did pack on the muscle for the movie. So, he also did that movie Savages with Taylor Kitsch, Link Lively. Another interesting role for him. But the movie that actually, for me, that said, you know what? This guy has a lot of range. This guy can be a villain and pull it off really well. And that is Nocturnal Animals. With Amy Adams, Michael Shannon was in that, Jake Gyllenhaal. Now, I remember seeing that movie. The funny part is Michael Shannon got I think he got like an Oscar nomination for supporting actor for that movie. And I personally thought Aaron Taylor Johnson should have went home with the nomination. He was terrifying in that movie. I mean, you look at the Aaron Taylor Johnson of Kick-Ass, and you look at the Aaron Taylor Johnson of Nocturnal Animals, and you go, this is not the same actor. It can't be. I mean, he was legit, like, creepy, terrifying. He just brought it. So, that was the movie that turned me around to Aaron Taylor Johnson. Like, with the right material and the right character, this guy can be a force. And then even last year in Tenet, he was in the Christopher Nolan movie. Very small role in that. But when he was on screen, I mean, he looked jacked. I mean, here's another picture. And he looks giant in that movie. Like, his muscles and shoulders. And this guy now is cast as Craven the Hunter. And also, we know he can do a great accent from Avengers Age of Ultron. From Nocturnal Animals. This guy can play many accents well, which not a lot of actors can pull off. And he can. So between the physicality that we know he can bulk up, and he actually is like over 6 foot already. And then when you add like the goatee, beard, the hair slicked back, and then with an accent, Aaron Taylor Johnson might surprise a lot of people as Craven. And now, let me say, I'm really looking forward to it. Here's the funny part. When they said, they're making a Craven the Hunter movie, people were throwing out names like Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa looks like he could be Craven the Hunter. The problem is, people didn't think Jason Momoa is already hired for Aquaman 2. He's about to shoot Aquaman 2 in like 3 weeks. So if Craven the Hunter, that also got a release date of January 2023, so really a year and a half from now, and Aquaman 2 comes out in December 2022, they're basically going to be shooting these movies at the same time, which means Jason Momoa was never going to be Craven the Hunter. DC has him under contract, and guess what? It ain't happening. The other actor that people said was Joe Maniello. Maniello. I don't know really how to pronounce his last name, but because once again, another giant, big guy, and with the voice, it's like, no, he's not going to be Craven the Hunter. People, know your history with movies. It's really sad sometimes when people throw out names and you go, you obviously didn't see that movie. And people are going to say, Matt, what movie? Well, Matt the Bat knows what movie. It's called a Spider-Man movie. Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst. You heard of it? It came out in 2002. The first Spider-Man movie. Who played Flash Thompson? Joe Manganiello. You remember? Tobey Maguire, Peter Parker. I don't want to fight you, Flash. And then Flash, I wouldn't want to fight you, me neither. Yeah. There you go. Here's the picture. You remember now? Good. So I don't think he was going to be Craven the Hunter. That was like out of the question. When people said his name, I was like, no. You poor, poor soul. You don't watch enough movies. I'm sorry. Don't talk to me. Anyway, then people said Keanu Reeves. Yeah, I know. Keanu Reeves. Yeah, do it again. Yeah. Now, of course, Keanu Reeves, you know, I like Keanu Reeves. He's one of those bad actors that when he gets a good role, he shines. When they play to his dullness. And you know what I'm talking about. There's a reason why Keanu Reeves is great in two roles. Neo and John Wick. Neo, John Wick. Why? Both characters outside of the action are very monotone, dull characters. Until you either put Neo in the Matrix or give John Wick a gun, that's it. And guess what? The directors of those franchises know how to play to Keanu Reeves' strengths. Or lack thereof. Sorry. It's true. And I thought, Keanu Reeves? Yes, he's on a rise right now because of John Wick. But I don't see him as Craven the Hunter. First of all, I've never seen Keanu Reeves jacked up. You know, once again, look at Neo, look at John Wick. They're not Arnold Schwarzenegger type of characters. You know, the jacked up, muscular, you know, I'll be back. Wait. I'll be back. No, that's not Keanu Reeves. Sorry. Now, could he have, maybe in the look, he would have had the look, with the, you know, the goatee and the hair slicked back. Yeah, and then, you know, maybe add some tattoos or whatever. But I would never, anyway, I'm not saying you had to go with the bulky look for, Craven. I mean, look at Tom Hardy. Funny enough, Tom Hardy can be bulky, as we know, from like Warrior and Bane. But for Eddie, but the character of Eddie Brock is normally like a little shit. You know, skinny nothing. But Tom Hardy still has the muscles in Venom. They'll be like, it's kind of muscular. But hey, it works. You know. But like I said, I'm curious to see this Aaron Taylor Johnson play this role. I think it's actually another great choice that Sony has picked. I mean, really, if you look at the recent Sony Spider-Man universe, Spider-Man Homecoming, Michael Keaton, great character, great role. Far From Home, Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't think they did as much as they could with Mysterio. When that one moment where Jake Gyllenhaal is in the bar and he does that entire monologue, perfect. And I love Jake Gyllenhaal, so why not? Then, like I said, you got Tom Hardy as Venom. Then, like the most brilliant casting, you get Jared Leto as a vampire. Come on. That's like That's so much better than him as Joker. I mean, Jared Leto, the guy who's, you got the goth, the long hair, the rocker musician. Yeah, vampire. Thank you. And now you got Aaron Taylor Johnson as Craven. Yeah, whatever you think about this new Spider-Man universe, it's looking good. Can't wait for the Venom movie, can't wait for Morbius. And now Craven the Hunter with the director and now the actor attached. I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, Matt the Matt here. If you like this, subscribe to the channel. Attack Matt Productions on YouTube. Go ahead. Just hit subscribe or like. Like he said. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it now. Do it. Do it. Do it. Alright, do it. Do it.